Hello everyone, welcome back. Before we get into today's main video, and by way of an intro, I'm going to be doing a video soon on the top 10 most masculine scents out there. I've got a little bit of an idea about what most of them might be. It's going to be based on my own collection, so I won't be claiming to be definitive. But I'd like your suggestions for things that are essential inclusions maybe in any top 10 list of the most masculine fragrances. I've done beast mode before, but these are just going to be the most masculine ones. They can be old or new, but they've got to be macho. In fact, they've got to be fragrances that make you feel something like this.
Maximum protection. This mode is now active. Nothing can stand in his way. So you better start to play. Because Mr. Smelly is now on his way.
Right, so welcome back. Yes, today we're going to be talking about Green Irish Tweed from the House of Creed, an absolute classic from 1985, and then we're going to be comparing it to some of the very inexpensive alternatives that are out there these days and giving you my opinion on which one's best, if any, and how they measure up against the original itself. But before we do that, here's a little bit more important information about Green Irish Tweed. Today's fragrance in question is one whose name somehow conveys an air of aristocracy and tradition, and also makes us expect a smell which is green like the name, elegant and refined with perhaps the slightest whiff of Irish melancholy. Creed's Green Irish Tweed was released in 1985 and it's widely accepted that the perfumer was Pierre Bourdon. However, officially it's Olivier Creed. Bourdon has created many well-known fragrances, including 1981's Chorus from Yves Saint Laurent and more recently Fragcom favourite Mont Blanc Individual from 2003. Green Irish Tweed was reputedly created for actor Cary Grant, although he died in 1986, so if the legend is true, he must have been wearing it before it was released to the public. The price for this one, 50ml, is £155 on Creed's website at the moment, and 100ml is £200. The old sizes of 75ml and 120ml are still out there. For example, 120ml on Notino UK at the moment is £170, slightly better value. The fragrance is classified as an aromatic fougère with a very bright citrus opening and a grassy, crisp overall effect with something of a classic yet timeless appeal. I didn't include it in my niche fougère fragrance list recently because to me it doesn't smell like a stereotypical fougère, good though it is. The fragrance notes then, the top notes are lemon, verbena and peppermint. In the heart of the fragrance we have iris and violet leaf, and the base notes are sandalwood and ambergris. One of the key ingredients not listed as a fragrance note is Dihydromyrcenol. A great article on the From Pyrgos blog tells us more about this ingredient and its use in modern perfumery. The link to that article is in the description. Dihydromyrcenol is described there as a fresh woody aroma chemical with a metallic quality to it and a certain sweetness. Green Irish Tweed can be seen as the perfection of the use of this note in perfume, with earlier examples including Paco Rabanne Pour Homme and Drakkar Noir from the 70s and 80s respectively. In 1988, Bourdon produced a less expensive copy of Green Irish Tweed with Davidoff's Cool Water, and again there was a really healthy dose of Dihydromyrcenol in that one. Green Irish Tweed has a very crisp scent, very fresh, and a lovely lemon verbena opening. A slightly sweet and woody base is in there, and I think there's some lavender playing a role in tying this one somewhat to that traditional fougère genre, although lavender isn't officially listed as a note. I think it may be in there providing a little bit of sweetness. Peppermint is often ignored as an element of this one, but I think it plays a part in assisting the green crisp profile of this classic scent. This is a very versatile fragrance for all ages, giving young men a very vibrant, crisp scent while still providing more mature wearers with a classy, dignified, woody, masculine perfume. Clones then of this one, there are quite a few of these, and the more recent ones are the ones we're interested in today. These are inexpensive ones from Middle Eastern based houses. So we've got Ragbar for Man from the house of Latafa, that's £11.99 for 100 mils. Estriara Stag Black is £12.80 for 100 mils, and Armaf's Très Nuit is £19.99 for 100 mil. Those prices were on eBay. The Estriara and Armaf fragrances both come from the Sterling stable of fragrances, so they're kind of linked, and some people say they may even be the same juice in a different bottle. So let's get stuck into it. Yes, indeed. So there was some important information about Green Irish Tweed, a really classic scent, one of my favourites, and just one that you can reach for in any situation. Daytime wear, yes, it smells a bit like spring in the Irish countryside, so it's perfect for springtime, but summertime, absolutely. I don't see why you can't wear it in the winter or the autumn either. It's got enough depth, and it has very good performance on my skin, lasts a long time. Mine is a slightly older bottle, and it's got the old style sprayer. By the way, this is a 75ml bottle, and they came with this green thing on the front, whereas the 120 mils came with the black bottle, the hip flask type thing, and now both the 50ml and the 100ml new sizes, I think, come with the black hip flask type design. What's that all about? Well, according to Creed, this is how they describe this scent at the moment: a classic, as the old adage tells us, never goes out of style. Like a perfectly tailored suit, Green Irish Tweed has been and continues to be worn by confident men at the peak of their field, and evoking the lush greenery of the Emerald Isle, cut grass, spring meadows, summer wildflowers and herbs warmed by a gentle sea breeze. Tweed suggests Creed's equestrian tailoring roots, country squires and their estates, shooting parties and hip flasks. So that's perhaps why they had that bottle design. Anyway, lovely fresh fragrance, one of the all-time classics, super versatile, smooth, fresh, elegant. Let's see what I think about it versus its competitors. A 9 out of 10 for me, this one. No, it's got to be a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 fragrance. Timeless classic for a reason. So I'm going to be pretty to the point with these because I like all three of these. I've just got a sample of Très Nuit from Armaf. These two are made by Sterling Perfumes, who are owned by it's kind of the same company or something. Some people say it's the same juice in a different bottle. I have to agree, I can't tell any difference between those two, and I'm actually going to be really honest and say I can't tell any difference between all three. I've given them a good go. Sometimes I think I can detect a small difference, but it could be that you sprayed a bit more juice on one bit of paper or your arm. I've given them a really thorough go, and I'm not saying there is no difference or that they're all the same juice, but they're damn near the same to me. On the subject of performance scent, I found all three fragrances to perform well, all the clones. They have decent projection, not amazing, but good, which is similar to Green Irish Tweed, and then the lasting power, the longevity is very good on all three clones and the same, and they really are so similar to me. Same with Green Irish Tweed, it's got good longevity, very good longevity. So that's the performance. None of them are quite as good as Green Irish Tweed. What you miss is the lovely, lemony, fresh, natural, really sharp and arresting kind of quality of the opening of Green Irish Tweed, which I did spray just a few minutes ago on here. Now that brilliant greenness isn't quite in any of these, but they are very pleasant, and they capture the mid and the dry down really well. They just miss a little bit maybe of that nautical sea air vibe, and maybe that is the legendary ambergris or synthetic ambergris that they use in Creed fragrances, and these don't quite have that. So it's that very first burst of brilliance that does last a while with GIT, you don't get it. So even in the first hour you're going to smell these aren't quite there. In the dry down as well, there is just that little bit of magic, that je ne sais quoi with the Creed. But all three of these do a good job of capturing a large part, maybe 80% of the essence, that sort of smooth, crisp, slightly green, and a little bit sweet thing that Green Irish Tweed has in it. I'm not going to go through the note listings for these. They're similar to Green Irish Tweed, but they have their own little bits and pieces. I think most of them have lavender listed as a note, which doesn't seem to be officially in Green Irish Tweed, and they all come across maybe just a tad bit sweeter at times, certainly in the opening, than Green Irish Tweed. So maybe they've papered over the cracks a bit with a bit more lavender sweetness or some kind of sweetness. Definitely they've all got plenty of that Dihydromyrcenol in them, and they do smell really, really good, and actually they capture the mid and or dry down of the Creed fragrance very, very well. So they're kind of like that almost from the very beginning, and they don't change as much for me as the Creed fragrance does. So in terms of which one you should get, if the Tres Nuits is twice as much as in my list at the beginning, then I would go with one of the other two. But if they're all much of a muchness where you live, or you just like the design of the bottle of Tres Nuits more, you could still go with that. I prefer this bottle for Rag Bar for Man to all the other bottles, but whichever's cheapest for you, I would just go for that one. I think this one is a really good price, you know, £10, so is this, £20 for the Tres Nuits, still be great value, still worth having. So really, really good substitutes. If you want to just wear it as a daily work scent, you don't want to be wearing an expensive niche scent every day at work, absolutely they're great. They're kind of 85% there, and I think they're better to my nose than Cool Water in giving you a reasonably close approximation of Green Irish Tweed. So well worth the money, really good. But if you really want that magic, there is definitely something, an X factor in Green Irish Tweed that the others don't quite capture, but you're going to be paying big dollars to get that. So that really is my verdict. Aren't we lucky that there are so many inexpensive good clones? But if we really want the extra 10%, the real magic, then we have to pay whatever it is, 400-500% more to get it. It's up to you whether that's worth it. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments down there. So as ever, thanks very much for watching. And remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.